And welcome in to another episode of Off Script. My name is Zak Herbstreit, and Kentucky fans, spring ball is here. There's optimism. There's change in the air. There's a new era of Kentucky football, and I'm excited for this Kentucky team. I really am. But before we get into it today, if you enjoy college football, if you enjoy the channel, like the video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel as well. It really helps me out a lot, so I appreciate you guys. But let's get into the video. Why is there hype around this Kentucky team, in my opinion? Well, let's get into it here. First off, the arrival of Will Stein, big money name. That's probably the main reason why there's hype around. And, you know, he's gotten on these podcasts, and I'd love to have him on the show to talk myself to him. But, you know, there's a lot. It's from what he's saying, it's just some bold quotes out there. He's got a lot of confidence going into this season. And when you had this season like you did last year at Oregon, where last year he averaged 36.9 points per game, 465.2 yards per game. He also coached Bo Nix, Dante Moore, Dylan Gabriel, so he has a track record of being extremely successful. But looking at this spring and what I've heard and seen online, he's going to have an interesting philosophy going into this spring, and I want to get more into that here. Whereas former head coach Mark Stoops was focused on getting through spring ball without any serious injuries, and I feel like that holds true for most top-tier programs just around the country. You don't want your star players or just your starters in general to get seriously injured before the season, because that'd be catastrophic. But Will Stein has a different approach here. He's almost making it like a fall camp in the spring. And a little bit more on that, he's going to split the team, from what I've heard, evenly into a blue and white group and give players opportunity to showcase their talents. And I think it's more for the receivers and offensive linemen, for receivers to get reps with different quarterbacks so they can kind of showcase their talents and be like, hey, this connection looks a lot better with this guy. And for the offensive line as well, it's all a mixing and matching game there. It's going to be like, which piece fits well? Is he good with a tackle, or he could be good at guard there? I don't know. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how that shakes up and just the good on good that goes on within those practices. So I'm kind of eager to watch these spring practices unfold and watch the competition that unfolds in these spring practices under the watch of Will Stein. But also I want to move on here and talk about the new quarterback at the helm. Kenny Minchey expected to start. Really high on this guy because coming from Notre Dame, from an intense quarterback battle with C.J. Carr, who's currently now the Heisman favorite, so that can kind of tell you a little bit about this kid, just the level of play you're expected him to kind of be at if he's on the par with a Heisman favorite right now. But Will Stein kind of calls him the glue guy right now. He's basically the guy that everyone's kind of coming to in the locker room and being like, hey, he's our guy. He's our guy. He's kind of holding the team together. So being the glue guy as a quarterback, if I'm hearing that in the locker room, if your own coach calls you that as well, I'm like, all right, like I got faith in this guy. Like, I know he hasn't, and that's one of his gripes too, that he hasn't had a lot of experience in playing, and especially SEC play. You know, Notre Dame's schedule obviously a little different than SEC schedule. Let's call a spade there. But I think there's a lot of opportunity out there for this kid to be great. Will Stein also said he has great pocket mobility, great touch on his deep balls, and also has velocity on his balls when he throws. So a lot of hype around this kid. I really want to see him in spring, kind of just get to that next level and being like, hey, I have confidence now. I'm ready to go out there and play. And then you'll see a little bit more as well in fall camp. But in spring, kind of getting that confidence and getting ready to play in an SEC caliber schedule. And my third and final point is, how's this team going to look? You have 30 new players added to the roster from the portal, 9 new assistant coaches. I feel like there's bound to be a learning curve here just because, and some days your offense is going to be extremely hot and do extremely well, and your defense is going to look terrible, and you're going to be like, well, dang. And then it's going to be a complete flip, and then your defense plays extremely hot, and your offense is just playing terrible. And then people online are going to be like, well, we can't believe we paid this guy all this money. But that's how you grow, I think, in this new culture, in this new era, in this new time when a coach just arrives. There's going to be some back and forth until you kind of find your niche and you find your flow state in college football. So excited for this Kentucky team, excited for this Kentucky offense too. With the track record of Will Stein and what he can do and has done in the past, I think this Kentucky team has potential to be something. And I also want to get into the schedule here because it is, it's a tough SEC schedule. SEC is not a cakewalk at all, as opposed to, I'm not going to actually go in there, but tough SEC schedule, and you go home, Bama and LSU, and then you go on the road at Oklahoma. But Will Stein said it best: if you're scared, go to church. So no time to be scared. Full steam ahead. Compete, compete, compete. That's what it comes down to for Kentucky football. But Kentucky fans, I want to know your thoughts. What are your expectations going into spring? What are your thoughts on Will Stein, the new quarterback, anyone just new transfer additions? I want to hear from you. But like I said, my name's Zak Herbstreit. This is Off Script. I'll see you guys soon.